love that now. And me and Mo talk about it. Hey man, tell us about South Carolina. Tell us about your, give me your earliest memory and tell me a little bit about South Carolina, and then tell me about your earliest memory.
Oh man, so I put it like this: South Carolina is the first word that come to mind is neutral. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff hit like let's take hip hop for example. Like when hip hop hit, it was what's going on in New York may pop off 6 months later in South Carolina.
Okay.
Right? So with hip hop, comes a culture, right? So the hip hop culture, we adopt that. But then, you got the cats from the West Coast who, they got their own influence too, and we just kind of, it's like a big gumbo, man. But it's different. Once you don't know until you venture outside of it, and I guess that's with anywhere. So leaving South Carolina for the first time just really let me know what South Carolina was all about, man. I mean, it's just a lot of just good, friendly people, trees, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's different, man. I mean, I tell everybody all the time, I would never care to move outside of the country. You know what I'm saying? I need that openness. I need that air, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's like, it's about anywhere else, man. We got our hoods, we got our, suburban areas or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. It's just that feel good energy that come out of South Carolina, man. We barbecue ribs, collard greens, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Cutlass Supremes. You know what I mean? That's what we do.
Yeah, man.
That's what we do, man.
Okay, one more thing about South Carolina. I'm gonna give some people always throw some fun facts out there. People don't realize that before 1940, before the United States federal government issued all those land grants and brought white folks back to South Carolina, black people outnumbered.
That South Carolina.
Huh?
You want to talk about that South Carolina?
Yeah. But before they got brought back, we outnumbered them like 2-1, sometimes 3-1. We dominated. That's a place that most people are not familiar with. But, because, we hear about North Carolina, the Tar Heels, and we hear about Duke and this, that, and the third. But a lot of people don't understand how rich in black history South Carolina is, man. So, man, for you to be from there, it is awesome, man. It feels good just to talk to somebody from down there because, man, I'm going to tell you this, man. In Chicago, Chicago black folks are Arkansas, we are Mississippi, we are Alabama, and some of us you might get a pinch of Louisiana. But that's what if you grab somebody from Chicago, they're gonna be from Arkansas, they're gonna be from maybe Tennessee, Arkansas, maybe Tennessee, but Mississippi and Alabama, and that's it. We don't even go east. A lot of us don't even go east. Now, I have a rich history in Virginia from my dad's family and Alabama from my grandma's family. And my mother's family is Arkansas. So, and my great grandmother, Esther Whitmore, she's from Mississippi. So yeah, man, that's Chicago in a whole right there.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I mean, if you speaking on it like that, it's bittersweet, and I say that because you can feel the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? That's one beautiful thing I love about South Carolina, about the neighborhood I grew up in, Tiger Park, just sitting out there on that back porch. Just kind of feeling that. Like if you hit Charleston, areas like that, you know what I'm saying, or the Calpins area where some of the old battles went down at, stuff like that. I mean, it's rich in that type of history. Like, matter of fact, right there in Tiger Park, the neighborhood that I grew up in, right? So, you got most people live on one side of the street, right? It's a little small dead-end street. That's what Tiger Park is. It's a dead-end street. At the bottom of that hill, we got like a big field, right? And so, every Sunday, like around from 3 o'clock until later on in the evening, we did like the big discos down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody would pull up to the neighborhood, and you got your cats selling ball tickets, selling weed, you know what I'm saying, selling powder or whatever. You got the fish frying down there, and the DJ Raggedy Mouth, that was his name. DJ Raggedy Mouth come down there and light it up. But it was never no problems. It was like all fam. You know what I'm saying? And we had a good time. So if you come to Tiger Park, you got, most of the, and just about everybody was family, right? One side of the road. On this side of the road, you had the Galvers, right? It was a white family. They lived way off in the cut in this big ass house, right? Had a farm out there and whatnot. Right beside him was a cemetery, right? Big cemetery. Most of the people in that cemetery were black soldiers.
I was just about to mention that.
They were all black soldiers. Now, eventually, the church, they come out there and, those graves were so old to where they started to kind of just wash off the hill or whatever. Bodies buried on top of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of history you talking about right there in South Carolina, man. It's wild, bro.
Yeah. Hey, for those who don't know, that's South Carolina again, man. Just for those who don't know, South Carolina, we invented Memorial Day in South Carolina. It's funny that you mentioned that. It used to be the first day of May. Our ancestors, after that Civil War, after we saved this country for the second time, our ancestors got together and said, it was over 1,000 of them. They got together and said, we digging up all out, because it was a mass grave down there.
Wow, yeah.
It was a mass grave, and they said, no, we gonna bury our people the right way, and that's the beginning of Memorial Day. So shout out to South Carolina on that, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, it's a trip, bro. It's a trip. That's a neighborhood where, like, if you went from there, you come down there, it almost make you uneasy, because it's like, man, y'all got this graveyard right across the street from it. Like, shit, that's all we know.
Exactly.
We good with them.
Yeah.
We good with them.
They got our back.
It sound crazy, to somebody that, ain't from around there, but I mean, hey.
But for the record, it just sounds crazy because, again, here go another history lesson. When you know our ancestors, you realize that's not crazy, because Halloween was started because other people, the European people, are afraid of their ancestors. So they put on suits and costumes to trick them away from them. We embrace our ancestors because they uplift us and take us to the next level. So that ain't crazy at all, man. Last time, one of the few times I went to Tuskegee, Alabama, shout out to my family, the Liggins, adjacent to Nat Turner, for the record. We went, and it was my Uncle Willie's, God rest his soul, my grandmother's brother, and it was his services. He transitioned, and right in the middle of everything, cemetery. So now, man, and this again, it's a practice that we need to go back to doing. You go to the cemetery, and you clean off the graves, and you pour libation to show respect to those ancestors. So now, brother, that's why I urge our people for a spiritual awakening to go to South Carolina. Remember, I told you this, and just walk around with your shoes off and let them ancestors just suck into your body. You'll get an uplifting that you never saw coming. Now,
it's a beautiful place, man.
I'm sure, man. I'm sure. With that being said, man, tell the people a little bit more about you. What's some of your first memories? Introduce Big Mo to the world.
I'm gonna give you my fondest memory, bro.
Okay.
So this is what kind of shaped me, right? So I grew up in Spartanburg, South Carolina, right? That's upstate South Carolina. So 3 years old, my parents divorced, right? My pops was off in the Navy and whatnot, and my mom was raising the kids. Like similar story to most people, right?
Okay.
So what I loved about my childhood was the fact that staying with my moms, that's we in the neighborhood with all family, right? But staying with my pops, because of course that time was split, we in the neighborhood with all family, right? And it's blended because my pop's neighborhood was a lot of my mom's family and a lot of my pop's family, right? So I'm home no matter where I'm at.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? I'm home no matter where I'm at. And me and my moms, my brothers, and my brother and my sister, We moved around quite a bit, but it was all love. It was all fun, man. But some of my fondest memories was when I'm with my pops. You know, me and pops were in the basement. He would work on the weekends, right? So on Saturday mornings, you know, I wake up, pops going, he done left a couple dollars on the little table for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm out in the neighborhood with my cousins and whatnot. But them Friday nights and them Saturday nights when he home, I'm sitting on the edge of the bed. Pops would come home from work. You know, he would roll up his joint and whatnot. And he had this stereo system. And he had a wall of crates, albums, just, I mean, you couldn't even go through all of them. So I would sit there, he'll put an album on, he would give me the album cover, you know, this vinyl, right? So he would give me that album cover, and I'm sitting there, and he just kind of schooling me about everything about the record that he playing, right? So he telling me about the basses, you know, the bass player. He telling me about the drummer. He telling me about the guitar player, you know, the cat that arranged the vocals, whether it's Parliament, whether it's the Commodores, you know what I'm saying, whether it's New Birth, you know what I'm saying, whoever. And my love for music and ultimately hip hop, it comes from that. You know what I'm saying? And he would just sit there and we would just zone out together. I mean, I'm like 8, 9 years or younger than that. And we did that for years. And so, I don't know, that was just something that just kind of just continued to pour in me over the years, man. And I loved it, man. I mean, that's some of my fondest memories.
Oh yeah, man. Those are monumental, man. You know, I got the same kinds of memory. My mom, I didn't realize it at the time, but my dad had transitioned right in front of my mom. He wasn't pronounced as a transition until at the hospital, but everything from my understanding, he transitioned right there. And my mom and my dad both used to really love Marvin Gaye. And I thought it was just my mom being, you know, taking care of her baby boy. I'm the only boy. My sisters, you know, they doing that thing. They close to teenagers at this time. They 5 and 6 years older than me. And my mom used to play Marvin Gaye. And I get choked up a little even just hearing If I Should Die Tonight. Never knew. So I would stand on my mom's feet and she would dance with me. So that's the same kind of deal that you talking about. And now, anytime I miss my mom, I play that song. Marvin Gaye, If I Should Die Tonight. And it was just wild.
It's so many times, bro. I mean, I gotta go back and listen to them records. And so my pops, he gave me a lot of those records. He gave me a lot of them albums, man. And I hate that he gave a lot of them to me when I was younger.
Okay.
Because I didn't appreciate them the same. I valued it, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, you know, when you're young, man, I mean, you know, so I seen somebody in the chat room talking about, did you mix them? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I tried to cut and I messed a lot of them up. You know what I'm saying? I messed a lot of them up. But I mean, it was like, because, bro, we hip hop heads, right?
Right.
So a lot of the music that we listen to, we familiar with them before we even hear them because, you know, a lot of hip hop come from that.
Yeah.
So I
all of
an
it.
early introduction to hip hop, you know, break beats and all that. So I mean, you know, you listen to some music and then you hear it again in hip hop, you're like, oh shit, let me go dig that up out the crate. I got this record, the original.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, y'all will play around with it, man. But I mean, it was dope, man. Pops would come home, man. You know, him and his partners, they played nickel poker or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they sitting there talking their shit. And as a youngin', I'm just kind of soaking it up, man. And, you know, just like the same with my moms, man. You know, I mean, you know, in South Carolina, I'm pretty sure y'all did it too. One of our traditions was on Saturday mornings, we'll get up and clean. And while you clean, mama got that music playing, right?
Hey, my cousin who just said that we were raised on music, that's how it was. Every Saturday at their crib, I couldn't wait to get over there. And man, and that's my dad's niece. That's my dad's sister. Be over there Saturday morning. Me, Pam, Mike, and Vince. The whole house better be clean by the time I get back.
Ain't gonna be clean.
Ain't gonna be clean.
Ain't gonna be clean. Believe that. So,
yeah.
I love growing up, man. I loved it, man.
Yeah, man. Tell me a little more, man. Keep going, good brother. Keep going.
I tell you what, I'm gonna hit you with another one since I've been, you know, got my little drink. I want to talk about it now. I'll tell you another good memory, man. So I told you about Tiger Park, right? So when I grew up in 2 separate neighborhoods, man. That's what it felt like. I'm Tiger Park, I'm Bucktown. We used to call Roebuck. That's the neighborhood that, you know, Papa grew up in, right? And my mom's family eventually moved from Tiger Park to Roebuck. And my mom took us back to Tiger Park when I was about 14.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to call Roebuck Bucktown, right?
Okay.
In the area of Roebuck we lived in, we called it the Line, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if some of my cousins tuned in or not, man. I sent them the link. But they know about this. So the Line, my grandmother's house, my grandparents' house was right there in the center of the Line, right? It was one road. That's why we called it. Just like Tiger Park, it was a dead-end street, right? So this street, we had a bridge on the backside of the neighborhood, right? And one of the main highways, you know, the bridge went over right over one of those main highways, right? My grandmother's house was sit right there at that bridge. So the whole neighborhood would congregate pretty much right there in my grandparents' house. So on Saturday mornings, you know, about noon, we had a partner of mine in the neighborhood named Court. He would cut all the men's hair, right? He would start with the old heads, and he'd cut the youngins, and then, you know, cut everybody else's head, right? So after he done for the day, by that time, you know, the whole neighborhood is right there, just cats pulled up, got their music playing and whatnot. Wasn't no drama, wasn't no disrespecting none of the elders in the neighborhood. You know, it was just our community. We knew everybody. Everybody was all good. And I miss it. That's about all I can say, bro. I miss it, man. It was a feel-good thing, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
Friday nights, I'm listening to records with my pops. Saturday, we right down the line, the whole community right there. Sunday, of course, everybody going to church. My grandmother tell everybody, if you spend the night, you getting up, you going to church. And my grandma would never go to church. About 3-4 times. She at home cooking, though. So when we get out of church, I got all my people right there. You know what I'm saying? We watching the games, we eating, you know what I'm saying, just doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it was big, bro. It was big.
Yeah, man.
You know, family, man, I love it. Matter of fact, tomorrow on the show, we talking about, on Grown Man Season, a little shameless plug.
Oh, no.
We talking about family versus loved ones. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna touch on some of that. You know, about growing up with my people, with the Nesby family, with the Smith family, the Jacksons, the Whitakers. You know what I'm saying? So
now
you got me reminiscing, boy.
Good, man, good. Cause see, the thing is about this, man, this rapping with HRap thing, I want people to embrace what used to be so we can get back there. See, when the people hear these stories, like me, I grew up in 2 neighborhoods. Me and my sister, my mom and my sister, when my mom was going to school and working and taking care of 3 kids all by herself and helping her mama take care of her sister and helping her brother away at school and watching her daddy die and all that stuff that come along from the 70s. Me and my sister lived 1209 South Racine, apartment 701. And then we go over on Hastings Streets to my grandmother, my great-grandmama house. And then I had the privilege. Then my mama was so tight with my daddy's family. You people think my mama is my daddy's sister. You couldn't say, you say something about the Williams around my mama, you might get busted in the mouth.
See?
And my mama and my aunt Lorraine, they hanging, and my sisters and Pam, they hanging, and me and Mike and Vince hanging, man. So yeah, man. And then we moved to Old Town, what's called Old Town. And I'm introduced to a whole nother world now. You know, you done heard all these crazy stories about Cabrini Green projects and all my partners there. And then we walk from the Cabrini Green, and then if you ain't connected, you can go over on Orchard Street. And then, you know, it's a whole nother world over there. So, man, I had the privilege of growing up on the west side of Chicago, where people think everybody crazy. This is, you ask me, they done picked up a piece of Mississippi, Alabama, and all those places and dropped it on the west side of Chicago. And then we migrated to the north side. That's where my brother Michael Neal in the chat room. He that's one of my, been my man since before we had teen in our age. So no, man, that's why I want you here, man. I want people to bring these stories back. So the goal is to reconnect because my original neighborhood. Check this out. My original neighborhood, between what they call this area Jewtown and Western.
Yeah.
80% of us related. You hard pressed to bump into somebody that somebody in your family don't have a baby by or married to. So we all family, man. Then we go to the Cabrini Green area, like my man Mike just said, and hell, we on our way there. So yeah, man. And see, the beautiful part about this, man, is you from the South. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, we got to get back into that southern state of mind. People might not understand it, people might not know it, but I'm telling y'all, if we don't get back to that southern state of mind, we are done.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. I mean, and Chicago sound a lot like the upstate, man. I mean, you can't really go to no city and not cross paths with somebody that ain't fam.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you know, it ain't like it's just super small either, bro. I mean, it's like you got Spartanburg, Greenville, Anderson, Union, Gaffney, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Inman, Lyman, all of these areas that's like right here, and everybody knows somebody in all of these communities, man. And I mean, you know, it's kind of like anywhere else, man. But that spirit is just it's there, bro. It's there. I mean, you know, I love it. I mean, you know, you got your problems like everywhere else, man. I mean, you know, one of the things about the upstate, it is a stronghold to where people kind of feel like they can't go beyond this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know how it is. You brought up, you know, you talk, go to school, go to work, get a job. You know what I'm saying? Work till you're 60 and sit on the recliner and watch Sanford and Son and die. You know what I'm saying? But then you got the ones that just kind of break that tradition. You know what I'm saying? But it's about just really just picking up on that right frequency and listening to the ancestors, what they're really trying to tell you.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's, I honestly believe it, man. That's how me and you got together. Because for the last 10 years ago, I had a conversation. And I said, I told you about this before we got on. I told this dude, my goal in life is to get young people from Chicago and hook them up with black farmers and send they black behinds down there. You gonna help them farmers every summer, your whole life, and you gonna develop a new way of living. Because guess what? Chicago way bigger than just Illinois. I mean, Illinois is just way bigger than just Chicago. It's a lot of farmland. My Aunt Iris, God rest her soul, and my Uncle Al, God rest his soul, bought farmland in the early 80s and leased it out to Purdue Chicken. Never worked another day in their life. So we gonna get back to that, man. I'm telling you, that's what the Lord put me here for, man. And I learned about my family. You know, me and my cousin Pam. She in chat room. People, if you ask the average person from my old neighborhood, they don't know Pam, my cousin. They think Pam, my sister. As a matter of fact, her brother's children hang out with my son, and until her brother got murdered, Lil Vince and Lil Mike, they see, and special cousin Brian Williams, you not our uncle? That's what my little cousin said. I said, no, I'm still your uncle. I'm still your uncle. And Lil Mike watching now. He watch every week. So yeah, man. So that's the key, man. Okay, now finish telling me about you and your dad, man, and how things progressed through that situation.
Oh man, my pops is. I don't want to speak in past since he's still here. He's going through his battle right now, but he's still here. But pops is he an interesting cat, man. Our relationship was real interesting, man, because I think he was probably 18 or 19. His brother died. He was killed in a car accident. You know what I'm saying? His younger brother died, and he lost a daughter, right? I never got a chance to meet her. She left before I was born, and I knew it took a toll on him because emotionally he kind of shut down. So it was like Pops would sit down with me, and he would never just really open up, but I could feel it. You know what I'm saying? I could feel it, and I knew how to respond to it, even at a young age. And our connection, it was always through music. You know what I'm saying? It's like we'll communicate with each other through music. He played the drums in the church, right? And it's funny because he never taught me how to play. He never taught me how to play, and I never forget one day, you know, I would always just kind of mimic him, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I would go and he would let me mess around with the drums. I swear I don't remember him teaching me a thing about playing. And so one day he was like, all right, son, you got it. I'm about to get out of here. I'm like, what you talking about? You know, we still at church. Pastor ain't even started preaching yet. He's like, well, when he get done, they gonna want to play some music. They go to Sticks. I need you to have that. And Pops went home. Pops a Redskin fan, right? So he got done playing the little offering music and all of that before the preacher started preaching. Gave me the Sticks. I'm out. I'm going to the house. I'm going to watch the game. You got this. Just threw me out there. And so, you know, I'm playing. And so now, you know, as far as I can remember, from that day forward, I'm playing the drums. Me and Pops playing the drums. He would play. He leave. I'm playing. And there it is.
That's what's
up.
up.
I thought that was a trip. We never talked about it. I was mad the first time because I'm like, man, come on, show me something. But he's like, nah, you got to figure this out for yourself. You know, you've been watching me all these years. You ain't learned nothing. And so, you know, I thought it was dope. Looking back on it, you know, it's kind of dope that he did it that way, man. But I mean, that man there, you know, we just sit down now and just cut up like brothers, you know. And he just, I don't know. I mean, it's a real interesting relationship. I never seen them, and I guess most men can say this about their pop. They try to hide that emotion. You know how
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't want to break in front of the youngins.
Yeah.
But you know, I think twice in my life I saw that man shed a tear. You know what I'm saying? When both of his sisters passed away, and when his moms passed away, my grandmother. You know, that was the only times. But I could always tell when he dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? When he's going through something, or when it's on his mind. You know, but he's a solid, strong dude, man.
And see, that's the beauty of it. I mean, again, man, I'm going to keep hopping on this because I need us to at least spend some time in the South. You know, we can go to Dubai and we can go to Botswana and all these mystical places and these beautiful places throughout the world. But I think we need to spend, hell, if nothing else, just spend a weekend in the South. Drive down there on a Friday and come back and you kick it and be tired at work. So go on down south for the weekend, be tired as hell like you do when you're drinking, and be at work tired, but you gonna get enriched, man. And like that connection you have with your dad, that's what's missing. See, up here, like me and my son, we spend a lot of time together. Cause like I keep mentioning my cousin Pam, because my cousin Pam and my sisters, really Pam is my third sister, and Mike and Vince are my third and fourth brothers. You know what I mean? Because that's just how close the Williams family is. You know, you see a Williams and you know a Williams. We all look alike. You couldn't miss a Williams if you tried.
Y'all one of them families.
Yeah, hey,
check it. Like each other.
Yeah, look, check it out. Me and Vince used to go to the barbershop with BJ and Lil Vince, right? People would ask Vince, is BJ his son, and Lil Vince was Lil Vince my son.
Yeah.
No joke.
That's how it is with me and my sister, man.
Yeah.
I got my 2 boys. She got 4 kids, man, and her kids look like me. My kids look like her.
Yeah, man. So
that's a trip, man.
And we that's what's missing, man. It ain't that fact that we ain't close like that no more. Because I you know, contrary to popular belief, I think black people are still as close as they used to be 50, 60, 70 years ago. The problem is, up here at least, we moving at 80, 85, 90 miles per hour. I gotta go here, gotta go there, gotta go here, gotta go there. Because guess what? One thing's for sure, 2 things for certain. My cousin Pam ain't finna catch the bus home doing nothing. I give her the hardest. Cuz take me home, I sweat the hell out of her. And she know I'm just messing with her. Cuz she know when I get through sweating, I ain't taking you nowhere. I ain't going that way. Da-da-da-da-da. And I done already said, okay, I'll be home by 3:30. And I'ma still do it. So, but we moving at 1,000 miles per hour up here, man. And y'all slowing it down. And that's why y'all are more sound than us. Even though you probably assume that y'all need to tighten up too, because we all need to tighten up. But the reason we are jacked up here in Chicago, LA, Detroit, Cleveland, Cincinnati, so forth and so on, Philadelphia, New York, is because we've fallen into this European system. And what I mean by that is this. They had to do things in a timely fashion, right? In Europe, you had to plant your food. Your food had to be up out the ground by October, and then you had to get ready for the winter. In Africa, hey man, plant that strawberry, that banana, whatever you gonna eat, and in 6 weeks you can go get it, because it wasn't no winter. So that's why we move at a different pace, and we moving at a European pace, but we got African spirituality with us, and y'all still got it down there. So that's why
I'm gonna say this, bro, and I'm not gonna. I can't really disagree with you because I don't spend a lot of time outside of the South, but I will say this: like growing up in the 80s and 90s and whatnot, it was different from now. I mean, gentrification here is busting a lot of that up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of people like from up north, from out west, that's migrating south, and with that migration is coming a lot of, you know, they busting it up down here, man. I mean, some of the communities that I grew up just in love with, you know, communities that I can go to that felt like home, you know, I feel like a stranger now. You know what I'm saying? They trying to do the same thing with Tiger Park. You know, they trying to do it, you know, in Bucktown or whatnot. But the feeling is different. I'm not saying that spirit is gone, because that's strong and it's rich, but it looks so much different from when I was coming up. You know, and I can imagine that's happening all over. You know, to what degree in other areas, I don't know. But here in South Carolina, man, like upstate South Carolina, man, I mean, it just, it's everything is kind of, it's speeding up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because now we live on the go now. You know what I'm saying? That constant grind. It ain't them Sunday dinners no more with the family. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, you know, grandmamas ain't around no more like that, just nurturing them youngins the way that we used to. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no, I can just go to the neighbor house and just walk in the house, go in the fridge, and it's all good. It's a different feeling now, bro.
And we
I don't
must.
know if that come from just growing up, or if that come from just the communities are different.
The communities are different. They're putting it that way. Look, my cousin just said, "What's up, cuz?" Now look, me and this cat been hanging together since 1981.
Yeah.
We figured out we was cousin in 2016.
That's heavy.
That's how fast we moving up here. Because I got a cousin named Yolanda. Used to always say, we have a cousin up there living near you. And I'm like, what's his name? And she would only say Sean. But just me and him hang out with about 6 Seans. So I'm like, you have to give me a last name.
You have to be more specific.
Look, here's the crazy part. In my old neighborhood, for whatever reason, ain't nobody known by their first name. You Michael Terry, you Sean Bouquet Ligon, you Mike Neal. You know, he love Mike. He might be the only person that don't know, that they don't go by the whole name. Marcus Triplett, Tran Brown. Ain't nobody known by their name. And I'm sitting next to a guy for 30 years, almost 40 years, calling him Sean Bouquet Ligon, and didn't realize, damn, that's my grandmama's last name. Is this dude kin to me? That's how fast we moving.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it's the Smiths, the Jacksons. It's like that here. You know what I'm saying? I know that's a common last name, but that's how it is, you know? I mean, like I'm a Nesbitt, right?
Right.
My father's last name was Nesbitt. The only Nesbitts I know is right there in the Roebuck area. Then I moved to Greenville, and now everybody see me, they know my last name. They're like, oh, you related to so-and-so? And all them people right there in the Greer area, which is about 35 minutes away from where I grew up. So now I'm curious. I'm like, damn, am I related to some Nesbitts in Greer? My family ain't told me that. You know, from what I know, all my people are from, you know, the Detroit area, right? You know what I'm saying? And I hate, you know, I feel bad that I don't really know a lot of my people up in Detroit. I ain't been there since I was like 8 years old. You know, but that's where my family, you know, my father's side come from. You know, a lot of them anyway.
Hey, well, you might be kidding to my homeboy, Chris Nesbitt, right here in Chicago.
A word?
No doubt. When I found out your last name was Nesbitt, again, you see, I call him Chris Nesbitt. He ain't known as Chris. He known as Chris Nesbitt. So yeah, man.
Know. I got to get out to the Midwest, bro.
Hey, man. At the end of the day,
that's my goal, man. One of my goals is to start traveling more, man. I gotta get out of here. You know, we talked about that. You know, so I gotta start traveling more, man.
Yeah, man.
Around some different cultures, man.
We do, man. I love the Midwest, but man, I just think as a community, we got to get down there where you are. We got to get that Virginia. We got to bust open that South Carolina. We got to bust open that Georgia, that Florida, that SIP, that LA, you know, because that Arkansas. We got to bust that wide open because, man, look, at the end of the day, if we don't slow down, we are done. Done.
And listen, when you ready, just hit me, bro.
Trust me, you'll see me soon.
Yeah, you already know.
You'll see me soon. Yeah, look, my cousin just said, man, we got cousins outside of Charleston. That's what I'm saying. We fool around and be related. That's how crazy it's like the homie Angry Black Man and 334 found out through the 23andMe that they related. This is why we need to
related anyway, bro.
Right, yeah, we definitely related anyway. Flat out. We from the biggest landmass on Earth and the most people on Earth. As a matter of fact, it's going to be in 2030, it'll be more people in Nigeria than the entire continent of Europe. Really, the entire landmass of Europe. Because the last time I was told a continent has to have water on all three sides, on all four sides. And I ain't going to go into that. We ain't getting into that. But now, where you at in the 80s?
Oh, man. 80s. So I'm born 77. Right? Gemini, May 31st, 1977. So, the 80s, I'm in TEODB Rappin, one of the project complexes in Spartanburg, right? We had 5 major projects in Spartanburg, right? You got TEODB Rappin, you got Highland, you got Spartan Terrace, you got Phyllis Goins, so forth and so on, just like anywhere else. And I'm gonna tell you what's dope about that time. My brother is illustrating it right now. My brother moved up to Washington D.C. He's an artist, professional artist now. Check him out, Melvin Ness, dope artist. And one of the projects that he's working on is illustrating our childhood, right? The dope thing about that is when people who not of African descent, when they think about, you know, black children growing up in those urban communities, they think about trauma, they think about hard times, think about how difficult it was for us during them times. Me, my brother, and my sister, we got dope memories, right? That's what my brother's illustrating. Those good times, you know what I'm saying? The ice cream truck rolling through the hood, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the basketball courts where the goals ain't got no nets on them, but we still balling out there. You know what I'm saying? Walking back and forth to school, cutting up with each other and whatnot. So what I remember about the 80s was just growing up in that community, again, just like, it felt like home, just like my pop side of the family in Bucktown, just like Tiger Park, but it's 1,000 of us, you know what I'm saying? And we all just, regardless of what anybody might think about the hood, we was good. We was good. We taking care of our own. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Now, I think about Miss Sandra right there that stayed next door to my mama, Miss Deb. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy mama who make that Kool-Aid that just, for whatever reason, tastes different from everybody else.
Yes, indeed.
You know what I'm saying? When my mom's going to work, you know what I'm saying? My sister in there making popcorn and putting the Kool-Aid in the ice tray, and we selling it for $0.25. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was, man, bro.
Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
I'm a kid loving life. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think about, man. And it was just dope. It was dope, man. I mean, and I'm glad I can look back on them years and that trauma that they think about. I don't know what they talking about. I mean, of course we seen shit, but it was the norm for us.
Yeah.
It was the norm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like my man playing with the water hydrant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It was dope, bro. It was dope. It was dope. I mean, you know, and if we did have a problem, I mean, it's 3 of us, man. You know, you gotta handle all 3 of us, my sister included, because she ain't play them games.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man.
For the most part, it was all good, man.
Oh yeah, man.
I just think you know what, I can answer it like this. When I think about the '80s, that just remind me of how close me and my siblings are. Because I mean, that's inseparable. And it's wild because all three of us completely different from one another. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't know me, you would have no idea that me and my brothers were brothers. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know my sister, you would have no idea that my sister and my brother were siblings. But the love that we got for each other, man, boy. I mean, it was us. You know what I'm saying? It was us. And shout out to my mama for holding that thing together, man.
Yes, indeed. Amen.
Ashe. Bro. Ashe. You know what I'm saying? Ashe. Matriarch, bro. I mean, for real. She was just, I think about how close we were, and I think about how strong my mom's is.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Because she was the glue. She was the glue.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that shit is Spartanburg. That's like Spartanburg at its fullest right there. Like
yeah,
the
man. The 80s, man. I'm from, I was born in West Side Chicago. I always say I got dual citizenship. Stuck up people in Chicago call it West Side Illinois because they say West Side is just too crazy for Chicago. I'll holler at y'all. We good. So I got dual citizenship. I'm from West Side Illinois and from the North Side of Illinois. Right. And man, it was amazing, man. I mean, Mr. Moore on the West Side, Roberts, the Green Store, the store on 14th and Paulina, owned by our folks. Then I go to, man, I was mad that I moved to the North Side, right? Because I'm like, man, I don't leave the West Side. And I go to, on Cedric Street, man. And Cedric Street, man, it was a piece of the 50s, right in the 80s. Yeah. And I'm not kidding, man. We had a black grocery store. We had two black fast food restaurants. One of them stayed black, the other one got sold. Sammy's got sold to the Arabs. But Jerry's, man, 60-cent orders of fries with mild sauce, Jerry's sauce. We go sneak up. We go get Sco to get us a beer up out of the pump. It was this place we had our own nightclub in our neighborhood. Yeah, it was called the Pump. And
okay, that's the name of the spot.
Yeah, that's the name of the spot. He go get Sco sneak us a beer out of the Pump. And we go up to North Avenue, and then one of the over inebriated brothers, I ain't gonna call him a wino, one of the frequently servicers of the night establishment, sneak us one about out of Mabel's too, Yeah. And man, but the beautiful thing is, man, let me tell you something, man. I didn't eat McDonald's until I started working there, man. Man, you didn't look. Let me tell you something, man. Big Illinois, his real name's Ant, and Big Illinois. We ordered from Jerry so much. We had summer jobs one year, and he was, hey man, you want me to buy you something to eat? I said, yeah. What's up? Big Illinois. Okay, call Jerry's. He said, this what I want, and then you order what you want. So I said, yeah, give me this, and let me get this. And the lady said, okay, Ant. That's how frequently we was eating at Jerry's. The lady heard his order and knew who he was. So we didn't leave our neighborhood for anything, man. I mean, you didn't leave. Look, you wanted some barbecue, you go to the best barbecue joint in the city called Farmer Brown. You wanted some Chinese food. Man, I swear to God, people from my neighborhood who listen, they can confirm or deny it. I think the China Dog was owned by black people. We had Chester's Pizza owned by black people. Then we'd get slick with them. And then, look, this was the little trick at Chester's Pizza. You order your pizza at 11:15. They close at midnight. And then you go up there because then nobody go get their pizza. And we get it at a discount. You get your pizza at a discount now, man. Black-owned pizza joint. Man, like I said, man, it was a piece of the 50s, right in the 80s, man. So
I'm mad I can't think of a whole lot of black-owned spots around the way, man.
Yeah, man.
I hate that. I mean, we made our own fun, though, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
We made our own fun. Like, the shit that we did do, it was, hell, the fun that we made was black-owned. Like,
yes, sir.
Tiger Park legend. I got to shout out, rest in peace, John Fowler. Mm-hmm. John Fowler ran the park down there. You remember I was telling you about how we would line up? Looked like that. You remember that scene on Bars in the Hood when they went down Crenshaw?
Yeah.
All the cars lined up. Come down to Tiger Park at 3 o'clock. Cars lined from the top of the street to the bottom on both sides. Young father done lit it up down there, and I'm pretty sure he made a good little lick with that little spot, man. But the generations, man.
Yeah, man.
I didn't know till later on in life that was something that went on for years. You know what I'm saying? Long before I was around. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something though. I got a picture, and I wish I could find it.
Well, if you on your computer, you know you can post it.
Yeah, I ain't got it on my computer. I know
okay.
that because I keep it in a little plastic deal or whatever because I need to do something and try to preserve it. But I got a picture from my pop's neighborhood, right on the line, Bucktown. We had Mr. Sam had a pool room, right? He still got it to this day. You know what I'm saying? I think his daughter running it now. But I thought, you know, when I come up, I'm like, okay, this pool room, it ain't been here for so long, you know. All the older cats go there, and then I got older now. I'm shooting pool there, throwing parties there, going by there to drink or whatever. But I found a picture of my moms and my pops sitting in the pool room, right? At a table, chilling. Pops, you know what I'm saying, got the Donny Hathaway on. My mom's got the little Supremes cut or whatever with the glasses on. I didn't know that was the night they hooked up.
Wow.
I got that photo and I'm like, damn, I can't never lose. That's why I don't have it scanned and nothing like that right now. I got to figure out what to do with it. That's the story that was told to me, and I'm like, man, that's dope as hell, man.
Oh yeah. That's a moment of history.
Because I didn't know that till later on in life, and I've seen that picture before. Matter of fact, it may be the only picture I ever seen with my moms and pops together.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it's dope that they captured that moment. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
I gotta shoot that to you when I find it, man.
For sure, man. For sure.
So we thought we gotta put that out.
And then I got the same. You know what? It took me later on in life to find out some things about my original neighborhood. You know, the champ from Harlem Nights, right? The stuttering champ. He from my old neighborhood, and I'm finna give my cousin Pam, my sister Phyllis, and a couple other people from my old neighborhood listening a little history. The 1817 Club right there on Roosevelt between Woods and Walcott was owned by the champ's daddy.
Wow.
And 99% of the people from that neighborhood don't know that.
When you say the champ, you talking about the character he portrayed?
Yeah, the character. No. The actual actor.
Yeah, okay.
His dad owned a nightclub right and if for those people who listening and they don't know what I'm talking about, right next to Miss Pinky's pool room. And Miss Pinky used to help people with school clothes. I'll just put it that way. God rest her soul.
Yeah.
She knew people who could help people get discount school clothes. 5-finger discount. But that's another situation. Hey, man, let's go to the dark ages, man. I call it the dark ages of our community because, man, that one rocked us to our knees. This whole crack epidemic started in the late 80s. It started with us. We didn't even call it crack. I always call it, white folks called it crack. In Chicago, we called it Ready Rocks because, you bought the powder and mixed it. Or look at my cousin. She said, yeah, she remembered the 1718 Club. Yeah, 1817 Club. And talk to me about that time when that dark cloud hovered over the entire black community, coast to coast.
Let me tell you, so my experience with it, and it hurt me because I was the community meant everything to me. It was all I knew. It was home. So for me, it was a lot of cats that I looked up to. Most of them family, right? Older cousins, because my mom's had a lot of cousins, you know what I'm saying, that I looked up to as aunts or uncles, right? Pops had a lot of friends, you know what I'm saying, I got uncles, you know what I'm saying, and so what happened was those cats went from being people that we looked up to, idols, you know what I'm saying, to being clowns, so to speak. The love is still there, but the respect, you know what I'm saying? Because, I'm like, damn, you let this thing take you like that. And when you're young like that, you don't understand that. I mean, bro, you don't understand how hard it was to keep that from happening, to prevent that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's new to them. You know what I'm saying? And it hit, and it was almost instant. And I'm not gonna throw no names out there, but you know, I have family members who they were my heroes, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a part of them just left. Because you got the ones who delve into the game on both sides of it. You got the ones who became victims of it. They all victims because they ain't nothing positive about it.
Nothing.
But you got the hustlers, you got the fiends, right? And it was like an even divide within my family. It was like either half of y'all is hustlers now, and the other half of y'all is fiends. And it was like, damn, come on, how you let that happen? Because now I'm getting older. You know what I'm saying? And so like the early 90s is when it really started when I really started pay attention to it. And then ultimately, I mean, you know, we come up in that era, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to dabble in it too, right? And so now I'm like, damn, I don't even feel right trying to serve one of my pop's friends, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I remember the moment when I knew this ain't for me, right? So I'll tell you this story without mentioning names. So me and one of my partners, we sitting there, you know, this is the little spot that we post up at that we, you know what I'm saying, trap out of or whatever. And he had a young son, younger than us, right? And he was crying about how, you know, Pops, I'm hungry. We had a little Hardee's right up the street. Like, take me to Hardee's, you know, give me something to eat. Because he got us something on the weekends, right? And so I'm sitting there and my partner was just serving them left and right. He's sitting there smoking. You done seen how they get. Them niggas get the way they just pulling the curtains down off the wall or whatever. And so he had $50 left. Just got paid. Got $50 left. Partner pulled out a rock, dropped it on the table. He couldn't even talk at that point. You know what I mean? They get that lockjaw. He couldn't even talk. Threw his last $50 on the table. I looked at my partner. I said, man, look, you finna take this little nigga to Hardee's and get him something to eat. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you knew he was hungry. You know he too weak in this moment to, you know, do what he got to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's finna come first over his son. You get that. You know how this thing works. And he took him up to Hardee's, got him something to eat. Last time I ever even dealt with it like that. I just wasn't built for it like that. I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I couldn't watch that happen to my folk. Because I knew this man. You know what I'm saying? I knew this kid. And I'm like, this a cat that I looked up to. This somebody that ran with my pops. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like this right here. And I don't know. That one hurt.
And the sad thing is, man, I'm not excusing anybody's behavior or anything that anybody did, but people don't realize, you know, you can clearly see that this was a governmental execution of the black community. Because, first of all, you have funding our schools, so how the hell we know how to mix up something that we don't even have access to? And then you strip us down. You take away math. You defund our schools to a point where you got to have the greatest teachers in the world. Then you take away our music and our art. So now you take away our creative things. And then you start. When I left high school, they started taking away vocation. So now I can't have vocation.
Can you hold that thought for 1 second, bro?
Yep.
I'm sorry, man. My fault, bro. Give me 1 second.
Hey man, you are now tuned in to Built for This Network. This is Rapping with HRap, my special guest, Big Mo. He had to step away for a little while. And what we're doing, and I'm going to be doing this every Friday. If you got a story to tell and you want to tell a story, please reach out to me, because these are stories that need to be told. There's no shame in this. Look, if you've gone through a hard time, so what? We all have. And it ain't no shame in it. And we gonna get through this hard time, and we gonna get through the next hard time. But the only way we gonna do this is together. And if you, like I said, I got my man coming on. I got to catch up with him. If I can get Jesse, if I can't finally get him on the phone, if I get Jesse is a former Vietnam veteran. And this brother told me that it took him 3 years to be able to be woken up without trying to fight the person who woke him up. So basically, everybody has a story. And my job is to introduce that story to everybody else. Because when that story is with everybody else, then we understand how to help each other instead of judging each other. Point blank, period. What was I saying?
No. We was talking about how, that epidemic kind of hit our community.
Oh yeah, that epidemic, that was an unleashing of a plague. It was like they had a jar of pain and suffering and poured it on the black community from coast to coast. And so when people sit back, I've had a conversation recently with a person who, I don't know how they do this, because you ain't trying to understand. Because your situation didn't get as bad as the next person's. I mean, some of the people, like if you listen to my show, you hear me talk about my aunts, and you hear me talk about my sisters, and you hear me talk about my cousins. These people are paramount in my development, and some of them were hurt by this. So I could either be a sucker and sit back and point my finger, or I could just love my family. I don't give a damn. I got friends and family members that suffer from this, and I understand that the government, the United States federal government, I'm going to say that again, the United States federal government unleashed a plague on my people.
Yeah.
Point blank, period. So if you got some judgment in your heart, fuck you and all the shit you gonna say. And that's just the way I feel. Now let's eat.
Bro, it's hard because like Kirby said, it was that demon that shook the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what it felt like in other cities, but it was quick, it was swift. I mean, it felt like it was overnight.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, because when you sit here and you watch people just, I don't know, just the judgment that came upon the people that you love, that you knew, the people that's judging them, respected at one point. You know what I'm saying? Or just watch a community just transform.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And just become aggressive, or just become something that you don't recognize. I mean, it was crazy.
It was crazy, man.
It was crazy.
It
was hard to watch, man.
It really was.
A lot of us played a role in that. I mean, we dabbled in it, we fucked with it a little bit, but I mean, at the end of the day, looking back on it, man, I mean, it's real sad, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Because it got like most of my people.
Hey,
I'm not talking about, you know what I'm saying, just a handful of cats that I looked up to. I'm talking about most of my people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A neighborhood that you used to associating with family, loved ones, just home.
Mm-hmm.
It's the trap.
Mm-hmm.
It's the trap. You know what I'm saying? It's the trap. I mean,
it is. Yeah, but when you strip people of everything,
positive.
Like last week, I had a brother on here by the name of Al Lewis, great brother, man. And like he said, when you remove all hope, there is no remorse.
Mm-hmm.
Without hope, there is no remorse. And that's what we suffer from. Because people sit around and point the finger and judge people. Okay, but you know what? Your ass is one paycheck away from that. And you ain't even using no drugs. So, whatever. Yeah. That's why.
I mean, it's strategic, man. It was so strategic. It had to be. It couldn't happen no other way. I mean, that shit was...
Let me tell you something. I'm a little older than you. The truth came out in 1989. This guy by the name of Oliver North, who's a millionaire because he told a story and put it in a book. He set his ass on television, and he stated, and that show Snowfall is the real Rick Ross story. So we all know it's the truth. And the sad part is we continue to reach for acceptance, white acceptance, and continue to fall for the okie doke. And that's just the name of that tune, man.
Yeah.
We continue to fall for the okie doke, man.
I'm gonna tell you something though, bro. Black people, we the most resilient people on this planet, bro. I mean, I'm telling you, as cold and as deep as that thing was, I got so many family members,
bounce
so
back,
many loved ones that I done watch go rock bottom to just climb right back out that thing like it ain't never hit him. You know what I'm saying? I got a cousin, he passed away. Rest his soul, but I watched this cat. He was a hustler. He was a crackhead. Came back and became an entrepreneur, hustled his way back up. I mean, he used all of that shit. He used his brilliance, you know what I'm saying? You know, his education, all that. His hustling mentality, the mistakes that he made. I mean, I ain't never seen nobody just survive like that, man. We so damn resilient, man. We the dopest people on this planet, bro. I mean, it's
period. It ain't nothing. Man, when you unleash a player,
right, it's in our DNA.
When you strip somebody, when you attempt to strip somebody down to buck private, and then when they work their way back up to sergeant, you create laws to hold them back any further. And then when they get back to sergeant again, you put poison in the air.
Yeah.
And then guess what? They put cracking AIDS in our community, and we fought right through that.
Man,
See,
they tried it all, bro.
Right.
They tried it all. They ain't gonna try to go there tonight, but I mean, we seen it.
We seen it. So, and that, again, man, this is why I wanted this show. This is why I created this program, because I'm tired of people blaming themselves. I'm tired of people not understanding that this ain't your fault. Yeah, oh man, if you would have never did it, well, shut up. Because if you've tried an alcohol, as Charlotte said, if you tried an alcoholic beverage, your ass is one drink away from being an alcoholic. So everybody got problems, but we the people who gonna beat every one of these damn problems. Okay, let's go into, we got the dark ages, and then we got the violence epidemic, and they call that the early 90s. Talk to me about the early 90s in South Carolina.
The early 90s was crazy, bro. So, what was I in the early 90s, man? Let's go back to, I guess I'm still in high school, bro, 77, baby. So, early 90s, I'm like a freshman.
Okay.
Right? And around that time, that was, you got Atlanta. I remember at that time you had some Atlanta niggas that kind of not necessarily migrated, but they set up shop right here in our area. At the same time, you got some, I think they was from Mississippi, whatever. And I just remember, man, it was, that's when the projects I was talking about, that's when they got stupid. That's when now you can't really just, you got most of these projects like right across the street from each other. You can't go to the store, because you crossing paths. But I don't know, man. I guess it was kind of like everywhere else at that time, because now crack is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people understanding how to make that dollar off of it. I mean, it was set up that way for us to do that. So it was just stupid. It was stupid. That's about the best way I can describe it, man. I mean, everybody think they're a gangster, and everybody just kind of looking for a reason to be angry for, for whatever. But 1997 for me was that year, because I remember that summer I lost like 5 real close, like cats that felt like brothers to me. You know what I'm saying? And I can't really speak a whole lot on that. You know what I'm saying? But that was that time for me that got ugly. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm staying out the way. I don't really know what's going on too much, man. I'm a youngin' from 92 to 96 or whatever, but 97 it just really hit hard. You know what I'm saying? But it was a weird time, man. It was a weird time. That's when everything just kind of blew up in Spartanburg. You know what I'm saying? It was I don't know, bro. It was rough. It was rough, but like I said, I stayed out the way. Lost some good people.
Yeah, man, it was a trying time for us too, because when you're my age and we ushered in, I call my generation second generation hip hop. What I call Herc and Bam and Curtis and those guys. Cool Herc, Africa Bambaataa for those who don't know, Grandmaster Flash. That's first generation. my generation ushered in, Andre Harrell, which is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Him and this guy, people don't know that he was a rapper at first.
Yeah.
And we ushered in this thing called hip hop. And again, they tried to defeat us. They tried to keep us out of music, and we said, we don't need instruments. We got this. And we used their tools and their ability to eliminate things like the Funk Brothers. And if y'all know who the Funk Brothers is, go to Amazon Prime, find out who the Funk Brothers are.
Funk Brothers.
And then
talking about it now, bro.
Yeah, man. And then they turned that against us, just like they did with you got the poverty and with the drugs, and then they turned the music against us too, because we go from Public Enemy, and Cool G Rap, and DJ Polo and the Ghetto Boys calling it a reality rap, to they calling it gangster rap, and then they made those guys rich, and then around you time you talking about is when they start pitting those same dudes against each other because they realize controversy sells. Our great brother Tupac Shakur, he never got a chance to tell the world that I was just doing this to make money.
Yeah.
And it's been it has been bantied about for years, for a few decades now, that Tupac was just doing that to make money. And then you got a whole generation following Tupac on the, like you said, everybody tough and angry, but y'all don't realize this dude Tupac is trying to money up so he can make moves at a later date.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with,
close.
Yeah, he was close, and that's why his ass is no longer here. But like you said, that's another conversation for another day. So yeah, man, I can remember 1997, the day Tupac died, and then 8 months later, Notorious B.I.G. died. And I remember a dude that I know. I had very little respect for this dude anyway. And if my respect was at like a 15%, he walked up to me the day after, weekend after Smalls died, and literally said, and this dude is older than me, "We got y'all back. Biggie dead."
Man.
And I was like,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I'm just saying, I was just like, wow. So yeah, that late 90s thing is crazy.
I remember exactly where I was. I'm sorry,
No. Man, this is a
I
conversation.
remember exactly where I was when I heard about Pop. I think it was September '96. And then I remember exactly where I was when I heard about Big. And I remember feeling two completely different ways at that time, because it was like, just like you said, he didn't have a chance to really just let the world know, this was a bad chase right here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can show you who I am. I can let you know who I am, but all of this right here was all, just these cameras and shit. And I remember when Pac died, it was like, I didn't really feel surprised. I don't know why. And then I remember when Big died. Because when Pac died, I was riding through my sister. My sister was staying over in the same projects that we kind of come up in back in the day. I was going by her house. Me and my partner was headed towards her place. Just pulled up in front of the apartment, and it came across the radio. And we kind of looked at each other like, damn, they got it. Right? And when Big died, I was right next door. You know what I'm saying, at my neighbor's house. We were sitting there just I don't know what we were doing. I didn't tell her what the hell we was doing, but it came on the news. And I remember hurting for both of them at the same time. And I'm like, damn, this is stupid. I mean, the shit felt like a trap, and we lost. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what it felt like. And it was fucked up, because, that was around the same time, because that was the year I lost a lot of cats that year. You know what I'm saying? It was a neighborhood beef going on, man, and shit got stupid. I lost, a lot of cats that I love. You know what I'm saying? Because I moved around a lot, so I was good with a lot of people in a lot of different parts of town. And just so happened, a couple of them clashed. And I'm like, damn, I don't even want to be a part of none of this. You know what I'm saying? I love all y'all cats. And then Big died, and it just, the shit felt like I was hurting for both of them. Big and Pac. I ain't mean to go, all the way around there.
Oh, no. That's the purpose of this, man.
It was a real uncomfortable feeling because none of it made sense, and the narrative that they were trying to push made no sense whatsoever. Because you remember that whole little beef. It's kind of, I don't want to say it was orchestrated by Vibe magazine, but
yes, that's exactly. I would say it
as a tool. You know what I'm saying? They kind of push all of that.
I would say it.
Yeah.
You might not want to say it, but damn it, I will. Vibe magazine. I blame Vibe magazine for.
I mean, they pushed that shit.
Pac and Biggie's death.
It felt like a setup and two cats that meant so much to that culture, to our culture, are gone because of it. And the world believes something that the world believes a lie. You know what I'm saying? So, it hurt. It hurt, and it hit me when Big passed. Because now a lot of that shit started to make sense. That none of it made it. It made sense that none of it made sense.
The irony is that's when Roots came out with their song. One Day It All Makes Sense. Their album. One Day It All Makes Sense.
Yep.
And now we talking about it.
You asked me about the atmosphere in the city. In the early '90s, I was heavy into hip hop. I'm barely leaving my room during that time, you know what I'm saying? Because I moved around so much during my elementary, middle school years, right? I mean, I always had Bucktown, I always had Tiger Park that I could go to, but just moving around so much, I couldn't get settled. And so I just kind of just used music to just really, this is home while I'm on the move, so to speak. So by the time I'm hitting, high school, the early years, I ain't really dealing with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of staying out the way. I'm tapped in. I'm listening to music. Come home, put my headphones on. I lay across the bed, smoke, and I just zone out. That's all I was doing. And so by the time '97 rolled around and all that mess happened, man, it was just like, damn. The minute I go outside, this shit happened. But that's what I remember from them years. As long as it was, as long ago as it was, that's what I remember from that time.
Okay. Now Pac and Biggie gone. You got the shiny suit era, then we walking in the 2000s. Talk to me.
Alright, let's do it. And that was an interesting part of my life. So, alright, for me, 1998 is when I caught my last charge, right? I got my last charge. That's a whole nother. I could do a whole podcast on that, but I'm not. So 97, right? I told you I lost a few friends, right? And I kind of just stepped back from everything, right? I kind of cut myself off from everybody, and I met, I met my wife. God rest her soul, rest in peace. I met my late wife, right? And so, at that same time, I'm going through my trial, right, my court case. I leave Spartanburg in '99, right, the shiny suit era, you know what I'm saying, which was from '97 to like early 2000s or whatever.
I'll say 01 when 50 took over.
Yeah, you're right. So I leave Spartanburg, and now I'm up in this area where I am now, in the Easley, Pottersville, Piedmont, Anderson, right? And I have my first child. Transformation year. You know what I'm saying? 99, I get married in July 8, 2000. And that was the year where everything just kind of just transformed for me. And it's weird because now we going from the whole Mobb Deep, you know what I'm saying, the purple tape, you know what I'm saying, the CNN era to whatever the hell is going on.
Jay-Z, 50.
Jay-Z, 50, Eminem,
Cameron.
adapting to a whole new, you know what I'm saying, a whole new wave. And I just kind of reverted back to, give me some Curtis Mayfield, man. Let me go back, and it ain't no knock against them cats, because I grew to love a lot of their music. But that's just what it felt like for me. Because that was the time I got to grow up quick, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a father now. I ain't never in a million years expect to be a father. You know, not to mention a good father. You know what I'm saying? That was the last thing on my mind. I might be going to jail for 30 years. I don't know what this gonna look like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on grow up mode at that time, man, and I don't know what was going on in the area because I separated myself from all of that. But you know, I remember a lot of fake shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that stands out to me. You know, I got a full-time job now. You know what I mean? I'm switching it up. So I'm a different individual, bro. I'm trying to figure out how to grow up. That's what I remember about that time.
Okay, yeah, man, because you know, like you said, Eminem is taking over. Jay-Z is taking over. Puff is kind of fading. We were just glad that people wasn't dying in hip hop no more at that time. Cause see, at that time I'm 30, and you know my daughter is 3, and it was a pivotal moment in my life as well. Cause like you know, like I said, my dad, John Williams, God rest his soul, he died 4 months and 2 days before I was born. So I made it my business. I literally stopped seeing this one woman and I said, hey, I'm gonna take care of my kids. Because she asked me to have a conversation with one of her children, with her son.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who the hell talking to my son? I'm out. I'm done. And thank God Nicole even said, yeah, all right, goofball, I'll take you back. So yeah, I'm with you, man. That was, we both were hitting pivotal points in our lives, because I could take it back to, like I said, cousin Pam, she right there. My sister Phyllis, I used to go to see her, you know, and I thought Phyllis and my older sister Teddy were superheroes. And then I would go hang out with my cousin Pam, and then, you know, just when I got, you know what is funny, I would go hang out with Pam when I was tired of just being a guy. I could just be Brian.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just talk to Pam. Me and Pam sit up and talk for hours. You know, and then, you know, I just got to, you know, I ain't got to be the basketball playing guy. I ain't got to be flirting with the chicks. I ain't got to be doing that. I'm just hanging out with Pam. And see, and Pam has never even heard this. Pam listened to this and hearing this for the very first time herself. But yeah, Pam kept me on earth. You know, just, I ain't had to be, you know, at the time my nickname was Hopper. I ain't had to be Hopper at that time.
Hopper.
Yeah, I ain't had to be Hopper at that time.
How you get that nickname?
That's a long story. It's a long story. But
I see my cousin popped up in the chat room. Love you back, cousin. But
so,
yeah, man. So I tell you this though. This is what I do remember. And you know, so around that time, my grandfather, right? He was born. I think I told you this.
Yeah, you told me. Let the people hear this. This is
January
beautiful.
1st, 1900, right? That's the year he was born, and he lived to see 98 years, right? And so, you know, we lost him that summer of 98, which just so happened to be the same summer, you know, where I caught my charges, right? And so it was weird because I'm transitioning, you know what I'm saying, into being, you know, just a knucklehead to really trying to figure shit out and hoping that it's not already too late. It was a scary time, bro. And, you know, just to kind of tie hip hop into that, Aquemini was the soundtrack of my life, bro. That was the one. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, you know, I had just met my wife, right? And, you know, we just kind of, we growing together, you know what I'm saying? Because before I caught my charges, I ended up getting her kicked out of college, right? She was going to USC, that's where we met. She was going to USC as a Spartanburg, right? And, you know, that's a whole nother podcast, too, about how that happened. And so she had the perfect opportunity right then at that moment to say, you know what, I'm not fooling with this fool. I'm not dealing with this clown, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he ain't nothing trouble. You know, he done caused problems for me. And, you know, I done totaled her car and everything. And so I left Spartanburg, you know, while I'm waiting on my trial and whatnot, because I got to get away from this energy. I got to figure shit out for myself. Because, you know, a lot of families just weren't dealing with me either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like, we don't want you, you know what I'm saying, around I don't want you around my son. I got a lot of that. I don't need you around my son with all that shit you got going on. So I ain't had nothing but P. You know what I'm saying? That's her name, Pam. Her name was Pam. I ain't got nothing but P. You know what I'm saying? So we just kind of just came together like that, and she stood with me through all that shit. So yeah, I married her. You know what I'm saying? Through beautiful sons. You know what I mean? And so I just remember. I don't know if y'all was listening to Outkast at that time in Chicago.
Yes, indeed.
The Art of Storytelling Part 2. For whatever reason, that was my theme song, bro. I popped 2 CDs listening to that. You know what I'm saying? 2 of them listening to that. That was the soundtrack of my life at that time, man. And you know, thank God I get in front of that judge, and that judge hit me with the probation, and the rest is history, man. It was a rap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. You know what, man?
Outkast and Hot Tech from Cincinnati. I don't know if you know Hot Tech.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Producer, DJ Hot Tech.
Let me tell you
Hot
something.
Technology album dropped at that time too.
We never sat down and talked about this, but my cousin Vincent, he was an entrepreneur. We're gonna call it that, okay? And around that same time, man, it's that 97, 98 year. That's when he got lied on by the police, man. I'll never forget this a day in my life. I don't know if he took the L for me, but me and Vincent met up in a parking lot. And that night, you know, now that he's, God rest his soul, he was real quick that night. Vincent don't do nothing fast.
Yeah.
He was talking to me real fast that night. Hey, yeah, And then he was like, I'm gone. And he said, just go ahead, do your thing. And I was supposed to go pick up this woman. And he was like, I'll just meet you back here. And again, Vincent is slow and thinking at all times. And for the only time in his whole life, Vincent is my younger cousin too. And, you know, me, Mike, and Vincent are so close. I didn't fully realize that Vincent was younger than me until after he was murdered.
Yeah.
Because that's how tight we were. He rushed me off that night, and I went to get this girl named Angela. And when I came back, when nobody there, everything was blank, and he got arrested the night. That's when he ended up doing 2 years. So, like you said, it was a transitional time in our lives. That late 90s thing is just something else, man. That thing. So, let's fast forward. We coming out of the violence. We coming out of shiny suit. We going into this new era, and it's all about money. Yeah, even the man, most popular rapper of the day, even had a song, "Money Cash Hoes."
Alright, so we talking about Money Cash Hoes. What year is that? That's 97.
97, yeah.
That's 97. So I'm settling in. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I fast forward to like maybe 2003, whatever. I'm settling in. You know what I mean? And bro, you talking about out the way. Cause she in the chat room, she'll tell you. Nobody know what's going on with Mo. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm cause I gotta figure it out, bro. I'm kind of just settling in, and I'm adapting to a new atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? That's fresh to me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we talking about a life that I don't know nothing about. So I'm learning on the job, right? And I don't know, man. That was another period of life where I tell you what. Let me put it like this. So, 2000 to 2000, let's say 2005 to 2007, best years of my life. You know what I'm saying? Up to that point, because you know how it is. You get married, you're on your honeymoon phase, right? That first year, you kind of settling in, you know, and we got a kid, right? That third year, I mean, y'all had a show yesterday about the importance of marriage and what it meant to everybody. That's that year to where you might be talking like, man, look, I'm done. I can't do this, blah, blah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? In the fourth year, now you got 2 kids, and like, look, man, we gonna figure this out one way or another. I ain't going nowhere, you ain't going nowhere. Damn all that, right? And 2005, we up. You know what I'm saying? And now we done start joining churches and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm barely listening to hip hop. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that I'm used to doing, I'm not doing no more. And when you say that, I think about so much. You know what I'm saying? Money, cash, hoes. You know what I'm saying? You know, as far as hip hop going, it was just, I don't know. It seemed like everything was shifting. You know
I'm familiar.
So I kind of don't know where to go with that question, man, because it was an interesting time.
Yeah, I mean, you know what?
I hate to answer it that way, but
oh no, man.
You got me thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn. I'm like, I feel like it was great years, but I missed a lot because I'm playing catch up. You know what I'm saying? Just really playing. I'm playing. I don't know. That's a tough question to answer, bro.
Because that's around the time I thought I was making it. You know, we talking about the late 2000s. I had, you know, I started making 100K. So now I'm you can't tell me nothing. You know, I'm like, you know, I went from street hustling to side hustling. You know, always had a little side hustle. And that side hustle, I was killing the game. I'm making 100K. I'm selling purses. I had a hookup on purses. I'm selling music. I had a dude in New York sending me, his name is Sada. He's sending me music so early that it was insane. Like, I still remember 04. I used to joke and say R. Kelly owed me money. I had that Jigga Kelly CD, Best of Both Worlds. So it came around in April. I had it in February. I was making like $500 a month off that. Like Kirby said, you used to be hard with the brown bag. Because I had a book bag. I had a duffel that could double as a book bag, a knapsack. And I just would come into the barber shop and sit it down. And Kirby used to be like, man, you ain't worried about nobody stealing. I say, nah, they ain't gonna steal nothing. And people wouldn't. They would just, I was pulling it out, man. And that's when my mom, and the irony, when your wife got sick, my mom got sick. And that is the reason me and you are here right now. Because at the end of it, my mom transitioned in September of 2010. And July 2010, me and my mom watching whole, Just Like Everything. And we were watching, as we did every year, watching the Football Hall of Fame game. And she reminded me that I told her something at age 10. She said, you remember what you told me you were going to be? I said, yeah. And then she said, no, you don't. And I told my mom at age 10. I said, I'm changing my number, Mom. I used to wear number 44 because I love Reggie Jackson. I said, I'm changing to 32. She said, why? You O.J. Simpson? I say, nah. I say, when I get 32, I'm going to retire from the NFL. And I'm going to get that O.J. job because he'll be too old. And my mom said, she reminded me. I laughed right in your face. I said, hey, that was a great idea for 10. She said, it was an excellent idea for 10. But me and OJ the same age. You ain't going to be calling me old. So we laughed. And then I told her, I said, I don't like the way ESPN represent black people. And, because of her and my dad's past, she went right into it. She was like, well, won't you do it? Because it wasn't even called podcasting back then. It was called buying airtime. And I was like, what? She was like, if that's what you want to do, do it. And shortly thereafter, she transitioned. And I bummed around doing a whole bunch of odd jobs and stuff for 5 years. And just like with every other job I've had my entire life, I get there, I do it. I've never worked anywhere in my life for more than 5 years. I've worked at several Fortune 500 companies. I worked at European companies. I worked in the European markets. And after a while, I just be like, I look at the books. I make the mistake of looking at the books. And I go, the last time I looked at the books, that's when I got that raise making 100K, right? I sat back at that desk and was like, whew, I'm grown. I made it.
Yeah. Shit, 100K? Come on,
man. I'm 36, 37 years old. Woo! Woo! And then I said, it was August of that year. I messed around and did the math. I made them $4 million. And I said, prostitutes get paid better than this.
Wow.
And then when my mom got sick shortly thereafter, I never went back to corporate America. So I feel you, man. But you know, I still got my children, and I still got, I'm still kicking it, man. You know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. Shout out to the kids, man.
Lifesavers.
Boy, let me tell you something. No, you say that. My sons saved my life, like literally saved my life, bro. I mean,
Trust me.
I'll share something with you, and I shared this before, but my wife passed away in 2015, right? She passed away in 2015 on Christmas. 2015. So the holidays they suck for us for a long time, right? And it was tough because my wife, she passed away on Christmas Eve 2015. 2 weeks after that, my uncle passes away. My cousin's father, right? You know what I'm saying? And almost a year to the day after that, my aunt passes away, right? And these are people who, I mean, were like right here to me. I mean, of course, my wife, you know, that's my best friend. That's the mother of my children. That's the woman that I grew into. We grew into adults together, to adulthood together. I became a man with this woman. She became a woman with me. You know what I'm saying? My Aunt Keena, my Uncle Pig. It was rough for like a 2-year stretch. So I started drinking. Like nobody knew. I wasn't really talking to my family like that. People calling me and they like, you know, what's up, Mo? How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Nobody knew where I lived. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my sister, you know what I'm saying? She was probably the only one who could just jump in the car and come and snatch me up if she needed to. But she lived so far away, I didn't get to see her that much. So, come home one night, and I'm drunk, right? I moved away from you know, the neighborhood I was staying in, and I got some neighbors who didn't really know much about me. They would see me out in the garage, just, you know, drinking a beer or whatever, come over, drink with me, so now we drinking partners, right? They knew a little bit of my story. They knew I lost a wife. They knew I'm a single father now, trying to raise two young boys. My baby boy was 14. My oldest was 16, right? So they kids, but they not babies. You know what I'm saying? They aware, right? And so I remember one night, I come home, I'm drunk as hell, right? I'm talking like stumbling drunk, loud, talking to somebody, and ain't nobody talking back to me. Now I remember walking in the house, I'm banging up against every wall I walk past. And my room is to the back of the house. My son's rooms are right across from each other. My oldest son, he would always sit there and he would be gaming on his computer, right? By that time, baby boy, he's 14, he's smoking weed. The day his mom's passed away was the day he was introduced to weed, so he just spaced out listening to music. And so, come in the house and they hit me. And I hear one of them, I don't know who said what, but one of them like, the hell is that? And I hear the other one say, oh, that's daddy, he just drunk again. And in that moment right there, I'm like, I'm drunk, but I caught that. And I got a picture of my wife sitting on the dresser. And when I walked in the room, that picture just fell on the floor. Picked that picture up and I said, you know what? I got this. I gotta pull it together. I gotta get a grip. You know what I'm saying? Because my sons, they just lost their mama. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they can't lose me too. And I don't give a damn no more. I don't care about nothing, right? I'm hurting. I want to drown in that. You know what I'm saying? And it just keep coming. You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like. It felt like 97 again for me. Remember I told you about 97 when I lost my partners. It felt like 97 again, and I'm like, I can do this. Because you got to think, I got married in 2000. 2007, my wife gets sick, right? From 2007 to 2015, I'm a caregiver, right? And I got her here, but it's rough. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think nobody really understood it because, and I don't want to make this about grief and about everything.
No, it's your life, man.
But it's like when I would get phone calls throughout that period, it would be, how was Pam? How was Pam? And I appreciated that, right? But it was never, how was Mo?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? How was Mo doing? You know what I mean? Is he good? Because he got to be that backbone. He got to be that guy holding everything together. You know what I'm saying? The queen, she can make the house. You know what I'm saying? And right now the queen is impaired. She's still the queen, but I got to kind of be that glue. And so that night, I'm like, all right, I got to figure something out. And so this was after the funeral and all that, of course. And so that next morning I got up and, both my boys, just for whatever reason, sitting in the living room, right? We sat down, we talked, and I let them know, I need y'all. I'm going to kind of need y'all to grow up a little quicker than what you probably should have to. But this is what we need, because we got to survive. It's just us. We got to figure this thing out. And it was a stretch, it was a process, it was hard, but we figured it out. You know what I'm saying? We figured it out. We became that unit that she needed us to be. You know what I'm saying? Because the night she passed away, you know what I'm saying, the last thing she said to me was, of course I love you. You know what I'm saying? She said, I asked her, I said, baby, how you doing? I grabbed her hand, we in the hospital, right? And this is, mind you, this is the night before Christmas Eve, right? We expected, the plan was for us to go home that next day. That next morning, she was supposed to be released from the hospital. I went there to go pick her up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm gonna stay here tonight, and I got all your stuff. We gonna take it back to the house. We got the plan for Christmas. The boys. I got all the shopping done. You ain't gotta worry about that. And I grabbed her hand. I said, baby, how you feeling? She said, Mo, I'm tired. I said, baby, what's going on? How you feeling? She said, no, I'm tired. I'm good. You good? I'm tired. I'm like, all right, babe. I kissed on the forehead. I'm like, I love you. That was the last thing she said to me. At 3:30 a.m., I wake up and the room is flooded with doctors and nurses. And, I talked about it before. It's hard to talk about. But the room flooded with nurses, and I'm like, what's going on? And like, sir, her heart stopped. We got to resuscitate her. And now I'm just waking up, and I'm like, I'm used to spending many nights in hospitals because she's been sick for years, almost 10 years. But she's strong. Like, we black people, we're resilient. She fought as long as she needed to fight. And that was it. That night, it was like she tired. It's time to go. And I had to be ready for that. But of course, nobody in that moment, we human, bro. So of course, I'm walking down the hall, punching walls, and I had to pick up the phone. I called my father-in-law, and I said, get to the hospital, right? And I knew when I heard his voice, it didn't click. But when I called back, I could hear my mother-in-law in the background, because he had me on speakerphone at that point. I said, get to the hospital, they're trying to resuscitate her. And that scream that she let out just let me know, okay, this is real, like real. And, by the time they got there, she was gone. And from that moment on, it was nigga soldier out. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't do that because now I'm dealing with my grief. I'm drinking, and then that night that I just explained to you was the night that changed everything. And shout out to them kids, man. Even if they didn't know, that was the moment that just changed my life. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for that. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta have something to hold on to, bro. And I found my purpose. Purpose was, you know what? These kids need you. You know what I'm saying? Because whatever their purpose is, they ain't gonna be able to fulfill that if you ain't here. You know what I'm saying? To see to it that they even reach the point where they can start their journey.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was a year for me right there, bro. And we here now.
Yes, sir.
I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there that, I hate for anybody to have to go through that. But It ain't a blueprint for it.
Not at all.
But I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna end it right here. I got a buddy of mine who went through something very similar to what I went through, like a couple years ago. And I thank God that I could, kind of be there for him through that. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of, just share my experience and let them know that, listen, I ain't gonna sit here and tell you that pain gonna leave, but I will tell you, you can learn how to live. You know what I mean? And he needed that.
Hey.
And I thank God that I was, able to be there, because I didn't even know this cat. I mean, we didn't cross paths till after all of that happened with me. So,
it's amazing how things work, because again, our lives are running parallel. I was 5 years before you, and it's kind of the same way. You was in and out of the hospital with my mother, and I remember it was the 24th of September, and she looked at me. It was just weird in the house that day. She said, "How my grandsons doing?" I said, "They okay." She got 7 at the time. She had 7 grandsons, 8, 9 with my great grandsons, 8 straight grandsons. She had 7. Well, no. Well, whatever.
yeah.
She remember she said, "How my grandsons?" I was okay. I went to the store. Just want to pick up her prescription. Drove down the street called Manheim Road. Man, I just lost it, man. I lost it. Just start crying for no reason at all. I mean, I had to pull over and I get myself together. Go to the store, get myself together. I come back home and she wasn't breathing. I had to get her breathing again. And call my sisters and everything. But then we fast forward a week. My sister Phyllis was in the chat room. The one who's golden. That's my sister Phyllis.
Okay, shout out.
And she in there for a week. I'm doing, at this point, I've actually come to grips with it, because I remember driving behind the ambulance saying on the 24th, this is it. And I had accepted it. And the reason I was able to accept it because 10 months before that, my mother was like, "Hey, I'm not giving up." But my mama died in 1977, Brian. I'll never forget this conversation. I said, "Okay." She said, "I still ain't got over it. So if I die, don't think you're going to get over it. Every day is just easier to deal with." So when you said that, it took me right back, because my sister Phyllis, my mom was in a coma for maybe the last 5 days of her life. They were about to move her to hospice. And at this point, I've accepted it. It ain't going to be long now. And they about to move her. And then Phyllis come in the waiting room. She said, "Brian, mama wants you." I get up. I'm thinking, oh, she out. No hospice. We back in business. And my mom she was sitting up. She reached out, grabbed my hand and said, "Thank you, Brian." Laid down at 11:38, 52 seconds and passed away. 8
Wow.
So yeah, bro, I get it. I get it.
It's bro, I mean, I want to say, and I know for a lot of people in a lot of situations, man, I mean, it is certain experiences in life prepare you for, what's to come. And it's harder than you think sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, my pops is sick right now, man, and I reflect back on our relationship, and it's a very, I mean, that's my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? That's me. You know what I mean? I ain't never looked up to nobody in my life more than I looked up to Pops, because I wanted to be Pops' coolest cat you know. I don't give a damn who you are. Be the coolest cat you know. And I've always wanted to make Pops proud. And I feel like I did. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pops, man.
Shout out to Pops, man, for sure.
It's just so hard watching him go through what he's going through, because he's so damn stubborn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, and his stubbornness kind of makes it easy, but the fact that he's stubborn make me feel like, come on, man, you know, you got to do this, you got to do that. I need you to tighten up over here. I need you to tighten up over there. Pops look your dad in your face, like, man, listen, don't come around. Don't come around me with all that, man. I'm good. When you come to see me, I need you to be you.
Yeah.
You know I need you to be up.
Hey.
Because I'm already going through enough.
I'm laughing because that's my mom.
It takes a minute. It takes a minute because, you know, the initial reaction is, man, they popped up, lost some weight. You know what I'm saying? And I done got phone calls. His wife will call me, tell me how he doing, because he ain't going to tell me.
Right.
My sister will call me. You know, she is more emotional than I am. And I'm like, nah, Cole, we got to go over here. You know what I'm saying? And I need you to chin up, like for real. Because, you know, he gonna get on you if you don't. Because Pops, he'll tell you in a heartbeat, all right, I'm finna go in and chill. Y'all need to leave. And he don't want to do that. But if you come with the wrong energy, that's him. But, I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because that was, hey, man.
You share my line. You know Pops.
Hey, man.
But he that cat that's just, he gonna always be him no matter what. And he a soldier. My Pops, I mean, my Pops been sick for a minute. And he gonna survive as long as he wants to. I went over, I saw him a couple weeks ago. He watches Westerns. He drank his Miller High Life. Pops gonna smoke his joint. You know what I'm saying? We gonna talk shit and listen to some music. That's our visits. You know what I'm saying? I go over there, I put the music on with it. We'll sit out on the porch if the weather right. Or we'll sit in there and you know, watch a game or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you know when I can tell he needs his rest, I'm gonna leave him be. You know what I'm saying? But it hurt because it's like, damn, I never thought that we would be in this moment, going through this. You know what I'm saying? Because out of all the people that I love, you're the one I worry about the least.
Yeah.
Because you always got it. Because Pops always had that kind of that fucking attitude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He just even kill all the time. He don't get too excited. He don't get too chill. He even kill. Right? And I'm like, you know, and I guess just saying it out loud, I'm not surprised at how resilient he is. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm laughing because, look, my mother, right? There's two stories I'm going to tell you about my mother.
Yeah.
You know, my mom transitioned in September, so around maybe June, a bunch of family members came over. A couple of them was looking sad.
Yeah.
And when they left, my mom was like, don't let them sad motherfuckers back in my house. She say, next time they come over here, tell them I don't feel good, because I don't need that shit.
Wow.
Man, that's why I'm hearing her say that as you say that. Like, I don't want that sad shit around me.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you who that was. That's my grandma. My grandma Mary. This man, but see, now you got me going, boy. That's my grandma Mary, man. She was one of a kind. She was one of a kind, man.
Yes, indeed,
I
man.
remember just sitting on the front porch with my grandma, just listening to her talk. She was the sweetest woman you ever want to meet.
Indeed.
But I ain't
Don't
never
pull
heard
it.
nobody talk shit like that woman.
Yeah.
The sweetest woman you ever want to meet in your life, and ain't never got an ass whooping worse than the ones I got from her, or never met a better shit talker.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
We might be related.
My grandma sit there on the porch, right? You know, I used to go sneaking cigarettes and shit all the time because my husband wouldn't let her smoke like that. She ended up in the smoking. But she was like, well, I made it 82 years old. You know, let me enjoy my damn cigarettes. So I go to the stove, get her cigarettes, I come down there and I sit down on the porch and I talk with her. Somebody walk across the bridge, she just talking shit, look at this stupid ass, you know, shit like that. You know, trying to talk bad about my grandma, but that's the kind of shit she talk.
Oh my God.
Right? And that same person be coming to the yard, coming to sit down, and she be the sweetest person you ever want to meet. Fix him something, eating everything.
Hey, boy.
There was this cat in our neighborhood, we called him Clutch. His name was Danny Payton. And I didn't know if my grandma loved that man to death or if she hated that man to where she just despised him. To this day, I don't know. But what I know is she talked stone cold shit about him, and she took care of him like she was one of her own. That was my grandma Mary, man. I loved her for that.
My sister gonna kill me for this. My older sister gonna kill me.
Don't get in no trouble, bro.
I gotta tell you, my sister was dating this dude named Anthony. And he had an experience for every experience that came up. And this, I used to always tease my son. Grandma ain't my mama. That's somebody different. That ain't the way we were raised. And he never believed me. I said, boy, I can't wait till you around grandma when somebody piss her off. Then you gonna realize who I was raised by. Then you gonna realize I ain't such the jerk you think I am. We used to joke about it all the time. So we were watching that OJ series. Remember ESPN had that 30 for 30 with OJ.
30 on OJ, I remember that.
And homeboy kept saying, OJ stupid, OJ stupid, OJ stupid. So we watching this. And I got tired of it. I was like, what make him stupid, man? And he was like, he had money. He ain't have to go get his stuff. And I was like, yo, so let's say, I say, your truck in front of my sister's house.
Yeah.
If somebody stole it and I drove past it and said it's on such and such and such and such, are you going to call the police or are you going to go get your truck? He said, I'll call the police. And my mama sat up. And she said, see, I thought that. You the type of pussy that got slapped and told the teacher instead of hitting him back. Man, me and my son almost exploded with laughter.
Wow.
She was like, oh. I was like, because I couldn't laugh immediately. Man, me and BJ was like, I guess that's your mama. I say, I told you.
Well, well, look here. Like Grandma Mary, man. Remember I told you I go stay with Pops on them Saturday nights, on them Fridays and Saturdays? She's in the chat room, she'll tell you. Some of them Friday nights and them Saturday nights, Grandma get in her zone, and she got to beat somebody's ass. The ass whoopings we used to catch.
Whew.
Like, see, I'm going to tell you what's the trip. So, where we grew up, at the top of the hill, my grandmama's house, it's my daddy family, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bottom of the hill, my grandmama, my mother's mother stayed down there. It wasn't but two houses that separated them. One of them was this little old sweet lady, Miss Midget, and the other one we just called it the little house. Nobody stayed there. It was used for like a storage room, right? Then you got my mother's mother down at the bottom of the hill. And she passed away in 1985. Mom moved down there. When them ass whoopings come through, I just kind of sneak out the back door. Keisha them done got them ass whoopings. Beat that ass, and then the next morning my grandmother made it. It's like the movie Soul Food. She cooked a breakfast so big, man. We all eating up, forgot all about it.
Hey.
Granddaddy got his biscuits and coffee and molasses. You know what I'm saying? And we eat good. And if it's Sunday morning, we get up and go to church. If it's Saturday, we eat good. Clean up, go play.
Hey,
you know
I'm telling you, boy, them grandmama ass. Hey, man, them grandmamas did not play. Let me tell you, my mother's mother used to be the bingo queen. She played bingo like nobody else. At one point, my grandfather, Richard Pollard, God rest his soul, he had a stroke and a heart attack at the same time. So the railroad was playing with his pension. My grandmother supported the family with bingo.
Yeah.
So when she started getting that bread, it was just, you remember back in the day, it was right around the time you were born. Glass tables used to be the shit. You get you a glass table, you was queen of the hill. We used to go to this place on 47th and Ashland called Gold Blast. My grandmama eyed that table for the longest. She finally got that table. This is the 70s, so it was $100. $100 might as well have been $10,000 back then. Man, she kept that table shining, looked like a diamond, right? My cousin Jazz on a Friday night. Man, we playing the music. We used to have this record player that you put the records on, to stack them on top, and they just fell down. And it was in this little box. He pushed the box in. We was on the second floor of 1655, right above my great grandmother.
Right.
So we playing the music, man. Jazz comes stumbling in on a Friday. My grandmother is out, probably playing bingo. Who knows what she was doing, man? Cause she used to bring back corned beef. I know that. That's why I like corned beef to this. I don't even eat red meat, but I would eat corned beef to this day.
Corned beef hash.
You, man, she come back these corned beef on rise, man. They was delicious. And man, Jazz comes stumbling in there. Bow! Fall on that table. Man, Stevie Wonder stopped singing and was like, damn!
Wow.
Everything stopped. The people on the TV stopped talking. The music stopped playing. And my Aunt Rita, I will never forget this as long as I live. My Aunt Rita said, that's Mama table. She just bought it. That joker jumped up, wasn't drunk no more, ran out the door, came back with the money and said, get this Dolores. I never seen Jazz. Next time I saw Jazz, he was in the box.
Wow.
You didn't do, man, Dolores Pollard, the first, you didn't play with that lady. I got my ass beat. Clarence Dabney and Head Start threw my coat in the toilet. My grandmama, and I ain't fighting. My grandmama might come back from the grave and kick my ass tonight just because she in heaven thinking about it.
Exactly. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get off of here, bro.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get off of here, man. I mean, just having this conversation, man. It just, I don't know, that nostalgia, man. It take me back to some of the best years of my life, man. We all went through shit coming up, man. But I mean, the memories we got, bro, them forever, man. I want to see us as a people just recapture that feel, that genuine, real family feel, man. And I don't know where we lost it at. And I'm not saying everybody did. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking for myself. You know what I mean? Shout out to my cousins, man. We keep the text message, you know, the groups going and we communicate and whatnot. You know, we probably don't get to come together the way we need to or want to. I know some of that is COVID. I know some of that is a lot of us have just kind of grown apart. We live our own lives, started our own families. But I gotta feel like it's important, bro, because I know my kids didn't get those same experiences. You know what I'm saying? That I did coming up. You know, those experiences that shaped me. You know what I'm saying? And I fear for their children. You know what I'm saying? I ain't a grandfather yet. You know what I'm saying? But my oldest boy, 22, my baby boy, 20. You know, them days is coming eventually, God willing. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how we do that. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to see that come back, man.
Indeed.
I know a lot of that has to do with us, you know, just taking our communities back. We talked about gentrification. We talked about just the way a lot of things has kind of torn apart that black family structure. But I feel like it was tradition. You know, it was a way of life. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. I just encourage everybody, man. I mean, whatever you got to do, if there's a way that you can think of to bring that back, do that, man. Because I don't know what I would do without those times, man. I don't know who I would be without that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's just the way my life played out.
No.
It took place in my life that pulled me away from my hometown. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, even going back, it's not the same.
Well, no, man. I think. And at the end of the day, thank you again. Before I start talking, I want you to plug you get down. So we get everybody to support me. I want you to support Big Mo.
Oh man, where we at? Grown Man season every Sunday. And I think Keisha, if you listen, if you still tapped in, I know I text y'all and told y'all tomorrow, but it's every Sunday, 11 o'clock on YouTube. Follow Tiger Park Media. Go to Twitter, follow Tiger Park Media. You know what I'm saying? And tap in. Grown Man Season. Me and DMVJ, me and James Odom. You know, we just discuss, you know, everything relating to the black man. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, just some of the things that we go through as black men in this country. And, you just tap in with us. Sunday mornings, 11 o'clock. We live on YouTube. And Tiger Park Show coming back too, so be on the lookout for that. Follow us on Twitter. We'll keep y'all posted on that. We got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff coming.
Let's go. That's what's up, man. But no, man, thank you for being on and thank you for sharing, man.
Thank you for having me, bro. I enjoyed it, man.
And that's what this is about. The way we're going to do this is have these conversations and make these nostalgic for our friends and family members and our friends and family members. We're going to continue to reach out. Shout out to my cousin Pam, 4th of July, 2021. She had to get down at her crib. Thanksgiving 2020, she had to get down at her crib. So she bringing it back with us.
Yeah.
I got to go out there to VA to see my sister Phyllis, the person that's Golden Brooks. I got to go down the street. Not down the street. It's in another suburb, west suburb, to see my sister and everything. So we're going to bring it back. That's my goal in 2022, to just see each other. We used to go to Mama Esther's house. We used to go to my Grandma Lois' house in Elgin. We used to go to my Grandma Dear house on Damon. And Pam bringing that back, and I'm going to do this back. And then as we continue to grow these empires, I suggest you do this too, because I want you to do it and I want to do it. I suggest that we do this. As we blow up, make sure we pay for both sides of our family to have one gigantic cookout. Let's do that. Because, man, what we doing right here, that's why I want everybody to tell a story, because these stories that we telling ain't just it's not therapy or anything. It's just to remind you that how great we are.
Yeah.
This is the greatness of black people, 101. When you remember, you remember. Just look, listen to that word. Why the European man captured our people and dismembered the African people from their family. And when you talk about these stories, you remember. Putting it back together. So that's what we're going to continue to do. Every week I have somebody on here different. I got my man Caruso. He a Chicago fireman. I got my man Ted, a former street organization person in the hierarchy of that. And we all family. Whether I know you or not, you my cousin.
Yeah.
So we got to get that back, man. And thank you again, Mo. Thank you to everybody who supported, whether you were in the background just listening or you in the chat room participating. I really appreciate y'all, and y'all know how I end every show by saying dream those dreams and man up and woman up and live those dreams. This life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in Technicolor surround sound. Salute to Reggie O'Shea and Craig Smith. And y'all already know if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, what the screen say? What does the screen say? If you need it,
get it from God.
Get it from God. And have my man Mo take us out. And guess what? And because you registered, Facebook kicked your song off. But they can't kick it off YouTube.
They kicked my song off YouTube, off Facebook.
Off Facebook. They can't kick it off YouTube because here it goes.
All right.
We lust for that cheese. We lose sleep. Dreams of that cream. We killing our teams. They dying for this American dream. Them government schemes. They turning us to hustlers and fiends. We hustling trees. The politicians smuggling green. Chasing that cheese. Got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely. Let it breathe. Let it breathe. Evangelists preach to congregations out of their seats. They writing them checks for tithes now. As people can't eat. She stripping for change for school. Now she giving them brain. She used to that loot. She earning. Now she giving them strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him tools to the brain. There's rules to this game, but hustlers never hustle for fame. The spirit of greed is grimy, so we struggle to change. They put us in chains and take away our African names. But if we submissive and don't resist, then who do we blame? It's all a game, man. These Europeans thinking they claim that you a victim of the game plan. You thinking they ain't, you thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. They gave us Obama, but that nigga was hoping for change. But Zimmerman is killing niggas and he free. Shit is crazy, babies having these babies and getting checked. But keep the child from they pop to rip his heart out his chest. Our rappers was leaders and now they in the booth and the dress. Spitting bullshit and making more but giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't a man in the house. They locking us down, but soon they gon' be wiping us out. They told our women they was too independent to need a man. Told our brother he was too insignificant to advance. It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't. You thinking they saints.
We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.